Welcome to compiling my portfolio of evidence. This guide will be very helpful for first-time students. My name is David, and I'm a virtual computerized trainer of Train You Can, an accredited training network, and I will take you through some of the basic steps in this program. In this video, we going to look at compiling my portfolio of evidence, also called POE, for learning completed. This method is normally used for OBE learning, or CETA accredited courses. What is a portfolio of evidence? A portfolio is a collection of documents which demonstrate knowledge-based skills and work you have undertaken to be assessed as evidence to meet required skills outcomes. Basically, this means that they want to see that you can perform the skills or task. An assessor will assess the candidate submitted evidence or witness testimonies and assess their competence against laid down assessment criteria. All the work that the candidate complete can be evidence. Evidence could include A. The learner workbook. B. The learner answers from your activities. C. Learner scrapbook notes. D. Classroom activities completed during the learning process. E. Registration documents for the course. F. Workplace confirmation, such as supervisor sheets. G. Attendance registers. H. Research or projects completed during the learning process. I. Previous achievements or your CV, or even J. Additional resources, such as copies or printed documents of related information found during your research. The evidence could even include photos or product end results as proof that the learner can perform the task or skill. Requirements for hard copy submission. Unfortunately, the CETA required all POEs to be in a hard copy format. Your file should consist out of the following: use a lever arch file. Number files if more than one file are used. Do not bind documents or put documents in plastic pockets. Put your name and contact details on the spine of the file. Use the templates, where applicable, because it makes it easier for the assessor to find your evidence, and remember to keep electronic copies of your responses in case your file goes missing. Your file will consist of two sections. First section, namely your personal details. Here we going to include stuff like learner information, copy of your ID document, certified copies of all qualifications as submitted. This might not always be required, so double check with the provider if this is the case. Your detailed CV with all your experience and achievements. Position in organization and organogram, if employed. The second section, namely your evidence. Here we going to include stuff like index of your answers to the questions or evidence included. Answers and evidence. Learner checklist, and remember to include feedback on your learning experience. Your evidence. Evidence must be numbered and should refer to the specific question or assessment criteria it is used for. All questions should be answered in your own words. Ensure that the evidence is valid and that enough evidence and/or information is provided to ensure competence. Do not use annex yours. Evidence should be grouped together as they belong. Evidence must be authenticated. In other words, your manager or mentor must sign the authentication forms as proof that they witnessed you completing the portfolio. You must also be asked to complete an authenticity form declaring that the evidence submitted is valid and your own work with some cases. Checking your documents. Before you submit your portfolio of evidence, ensure that the following are correct and included: contact details. All questions are answered and relevant evidence provided. Signed authenticity forms. All evidence are certified and signed where applicable. If your answers was completed on a computer, then all the answers must be printed in font size 12 or smaller. Your name and ID number should appear on each page and signed with a blue pen to show that these are your own original documents. How are portfolios assessed? There are 3 levels of assessment for your portfolio: internal assessment, internal verification, and external verification. Internally, when assessing your performance or evidence, the assessor will make a decision against each one of the assessment criteria. If the assessor decides you have provided evidence of the necessary skills, you will not be required to submit any further evidence. If the assessor decides you have not yet provided sufficient evidence, you will be expected to submit more. Reassessment. In the case that not enough evidence was provided, an opportunity for reassessment will be allowed. The number of reassessments allowed from each training provider depending on each provider. At TrainUCAN we allow unlimited reassessments with the 18 months enrollment period. Our POE is also structured in a more user-friendly way. Basically, just complete all the pages from 1 to the last page number, and make sure that you include this in the same sequence again in your file. Any additional information, answers, or evidence is attached right at the back of the question or place where they ask for the information. Any additional evidence that you might have can be placed right at the back of your file. The assessor will check your file and make any corrections directly in your file, as long as the evidence is there. Thank you for listening to my video. For more information, visit our website on www.trainucan.co.za. Alternative, visit our video blog on website on www.ucantrain.co.za. We also included a link in this video for more detail.